Hey there on YouTube, it's Sal Paolantonio with Rich Cimini, covers the Jets for NFLNation.com. Big win by the Jets. Of course, we're outside the Jets locker room. Let's start with the benching of Zach Wilson and the energy infused by Mike White into this offense came out of nowhere.
I was just talking to C.J. Mosley about Mike White, and I said, describe him in a couple of words. He said, electric. I think that pretty much covers it.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's start with the passing game. First and foremost, I thought, just watching Mike White, forget about the numbers, he was accurate, he was decisive, the ball came out extremely quickly.
Yes. I think Robert Saleh had a great quote after the game. He said the best thing about Mike White was he made the easy look easy. And you could read between the lines a little bit. That's something that Zach Wilson could not do, and that's why this offense struggled with Zach Wilson. White did it all day.
Yeah, and before the game, Robert Saleh said to me, I'm not looking, I told Mike White the night before in the hotel, I'm not looking for the greatest show on turf. But boy, it was pretty close, right?
With 315 yards, 3 touchdown passes. And the thing was, he got everybody involved. He hit 10 different wide receivers in all in this game. Pretty hard to do, and that makes everybody happy. It's good for team chemistry.
It is, and you got to be able to make the throws on third down.
Yeah.
And he did that. Time and time again. Yeah, he did some
Elijah
big ones.
Moore, big third down throw. Elijah Moore is like, this was his coming out party for this season. Obviously disgruntled all year, a trade request. All of a sudden they changed quarterbacks, and he's back in the offense.
And scored his first touchdown pass, right?
First touchdown in a long time.
A long time. Okay, so then Garrett Wilson. I mean, to me, Corey Davis's presence on the field opened things up for the wide receiving core as a whole. I mean, the Bears shorthanded in their secondary, missing 2 of their top secondary players, had traded away their best defensive players. Nevertheless, I thought, you got to take what the defense presents to you, and White did that, especially considering where Garrett Wilson was in his head in Foxborough last Sunday.
Yeah, we were talking to Garrett Wilson, and he said, he made some pretty outspoken comments after last week's game about how the offense was sorry and needed to improve. And, he had a talk with Robert Saleh about those comments, but they rang true. I think he hit the nail on the head, and you saw it today.
That's interesting. He had a talk with Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh wanted to talk to him about those comments.
And what was that conversation like?
It was positive. It wasn't like keep your mouth shut. It was like, I agree with you. We're going to try to work on some things behind the scenes.
Okay, so going into the game, Robert Saleh said this week, we want Zach Wilson to get back on the field quickly. With this kind of performance by Mike White, how is that possible?
It's not. As long as the Jets stay in the playoff race, and they are very much in this race at 7-4, you cannot change quarterbacks. There would be a mutiny in that locker room right over there.
And you said, Robert Saleh said after the game that Zach Wilson made the easy look easy. Okay, Rich, here comes the hard part. They got to go to Minneapolis, play the Minnesota Vikings, lead their division. They got to then go to Buffalo and play the Bills. That's never an easy out. So where do you see this team going from here?
Well, I think they're going to have to be a little sharper defensively than they were today, especially against Justin Jefferson and Kirk Cousins next week and Adam Thielen. I think they're in it to the end, Sal. I could see this coming down to the final game in Miami for all the marbles.
And they haven't been in the playoffs since?
11 years, but who's counting? 11 years, longest active playoff drought in the NFL.
Well, they look like a playoff team right now, I got to tell you that. For Rich Cimini, I'm Sal Paolantonio. Thanks for watching us on YouTube.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.